Okay, so it says we are live. We are live. We are live. And I am here on the day of Celebrate with Me. Come and celebrate with me. How important it is to highlight who is in your immediate circle. And today's guest is none other than coach and friend, Ambition the Poet. If I had like little,
What up?
I would do it.
Well, well,
Man,
well.
well, now that's something I haven't heard in a while.
Well, well, well.
That's anytime you do that, you get ready
Yeah.
to start with a poem. Man,
You
I'm
know
first of
it.
all,
You know
mm,
it.
just give me 1 second because I want to make sure that we are streaming live on my platform. That way, you can um, you can also share it. Cause for some reason it never um is public, and I have to go in and
That's all.
actually,
Yeah. You got me.
yeah, I don't know why that is, but it doesn't do that with YouTube. It makes that public. So I don't know how to change it. So if you got any, we could talk after. You can let me know how to change it, but it doesn't make it public. All right, now I'm public.
Mhm.
Now everybody can see us.
You
Woo
public.
woo.
Okay.
This is now a coach and friend, Ambition the Poet. I just love the theme for this month. This is my month, my every year I celebrate wrapping up another season of They Took My Choice Away Survivor series broadcast. It's been a staple here on Facebook. So if you're following me, I know you've seen me every month faithfully for the last 3 years. And so the last couple of years, I just celebrated with a bunch of, survivors that, kind of like tell their stories. And I had a lot of people come on last year, but this year, this specific year, the year of 3 years, 36 months, I
Uh,
wanted to highlight people who are very important in my life. Oftentimes, you see the person that's doing all the content and all the work, but you don't really see the kind of support that they have in order for them to do this work. And so, I just wanted to highlight my coach, my friend, Ambition the Poet. So,
Thank you so much. I'm
Ambition,
glad to be here.
please. Yes, I'm glad you're here. Thank you. When I was thinking about everybody who was in my circle, it was so easy. It was so easy to come, and I'm like, who do I want to highlight? And of course, you and Nikki. She just had a death in the family, so we weren't
The
able to
poet.
do her
Mm,
broadcast. But um,
mm.
you guys are very special to me. You happen to be at the same event I was at that Raymond Tyler um, was hosting, and that was the first time I ever saw you perform in the way that you performed, and you know what I mean. I'm like, oh my God, he's so powerful, and you were especially now people who don't know who you are, um, they should know that you are nationally known, and that you also are a poet that speaks about foster care. And I know with foster care, I have plenty of people who have come on being in the foster care system who have told me their stories, and their stories aren't always cookies and cream, right? And it's
Right.
there's sometimes there's a lot of trauma involved in that. And I just wanted to give you an opportunity just to kind of like let our viewers know who you are, give them a taste of maybe even a poetry piece that is the
Okay.
staple of who you are. And then we can go in and
Mhm.
how we met, and let everybody know why you're so great to me.
Wow. So who I am? My name is Ambition the Poet. Right now, as you can tell, I'm Ambition the Harper, Ambition the Poet, however you want to call it. Um, So basically, I'm a foster care poet, which means that foster care is my source of power. The only reason why I'm in front of you today is because of what happened to me in foster care. Um, I just wanted to say that I go around the country and I speak about my story as it relates to so many people in this country that are foster kids and that were foster children as well. They're in your countryside, they're in your cities, they're in the suburbs, they're everywhere. And so a lot of people, a lot of them will not speak on platforms because, quite frankly, their past is dark, and with that darkness they don't want to put it into the light. Some of them have went through horrific things and horrific experiences, so they're not, happy to just come out and just start speaking like, hey, I'm a foster kid and I was this, that, and that, right? And so
Hmm.
that's what I do, put it on a platform to let the light shine. So basically, I just speak about my story and a kid that was from Philly and that was saved by an amazing woman that was also from Philly and raised in the suburbs, and with a lot of passion and a lot of struggle and a lot of strife. I put all that together into my poetry, and then from my poetry going in to bless the world and really talk to people about what happened to me and what happens to others. So I kind of speak as a journalist, like I like to say, reciting the stories and reporting from foster kids like me. And so as far as a poem, I give you a little
Yeah,
snippet,
yeah. Give us a little something.
give my little snippet.
Let-
This poem, uh, this was early in my days about um, just give you a little walkthrough of
Mhm.
how it was. I hated foster care. It felt like an Airbnb app for the poverty kids, except for you can't give 5 stars to abusive parents. You can't give tips to a roach infested house. I hated my used clothes. You could still smell the 6 niggas that wore before me. It was something about hand me downs. You could still feel the disappointed souls that cried on the collar. Man, I hated my sneaker. They were so messed up, they had that lean. They needed the grandma cane. I always wondered about Foot Locker. Never accept Medicaid. You are now listening to the stories of a foster child. They asked me how I feel about my mother. Well, life gave me an epidural in my tongue, so it goes numb every time we're talking about birth in our relationship. And how am I supposed to feel about a woman who left me to die? You are now listening to the stories of a foster child. And so that's just a little intro, a little piece about me going
Mhm.
through foster care and wearing those clothes that were used, being around other kids who didn't have new clothes, being around people who made fun of me because I didn't have, the new stuff, and I had carried depression, I carried uh, abandonment, I carried not being worthy in my aura. And so
Mhm.
I write from those experiences and try to bring you as the listener right in on what it felt like and what I saw at that time in my life. But God is so amazing, taking me out of those dark places and putting me into an amazing area and being with an amazing family that saved my life. So yeah,
Mm.
that's a little bit
And
about me.
amen. That's beautiful. That's beautiful that you have a beautiful ending. Well, not it's not even so much an ending, but just like how you transition from foster care and then into adoption. And so I think anyone who like I've adopted some of my kids too, right? And so
Right.
I understand the need to want. It was important that I adopt my extended family because I wanted them to know that they belonged. I wanted them to know that I loved them, that they were
Yes,
loved
yes.
far beyond anything that I could not control, and that I was willing to fight for them. That I was willing. I mean, you know my story. That there were
Right.
people, on both sides of the family, not so much threatening, but told me that they would, fight for the kids. And I just said, "Are you sure this is what you want to do? Because I'm willing to go all the way. They want to be here." And you had to, obviously you have to. Your family had to establish, you know, um, they had to establish trust with you. And so I felt like, at least I had developed some sorts of trust for them to want to be here. And so I had to do it. It was a necessity. And so I think it was important. And I love that. I love that about your story. I love that about mine. And anybody out there who's, fostering, big ups to you. It takes a selfless person to want to add someone to what you already got going on, whatever, with your family, and it being extended. So, um, listen, love on them like nobody's business, because they need love. They need reassurance. In most cases, a lot of kids were neglected, and so I know you understand what that feels like. And so, but back to celebrating you. Listen, how I met Ambition the Poet, as I was saying before, was that we were at an event, the same event, and I saw his performance, and I just felt like he really had what I was lacking, confidence, and reassurance that my pieces were good. And so I don't know if you're speaking, but I cannot hear you. I can't hear you. Can you hear? Oh, he came back out. He knows how to work this more than I do. I learned how to do StreamYard because of him. I'm just waiting for him to come back. Ah, there he is. Taking no time.
There I go. Can you hear me now?
Aha. Yes, of course.
Okay. We
All right.
back.
Yes, we met. And so I was just telling him how I lacked the confidence, and I also wasn't sure if my pieces were good enough, right? But you assured me
Right.
that day, uh, that you were floored, that I had music, that I had dancers, that I had, I was working with my son,
Uh,
like I said, a piece
You
of
had a
my
whole
son.
band.
The only thing I didn't have was the musical band, but I had tracks. I
Right,
had
right,
Raymond as the DJ, and you were just like, what are you doing with this talent? Like, what do you know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't know. I just met
right.
Raymond because, I kind of reached out to him, and because he had posted something about needing people on his radio, and I've been on the radio with him. I don't know if you have you with Raymond?
I believe so. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of
Yeah.
times. Like, he's
That
had
was a
different
while
radio
ago.
shows that
Yeah.
I've been on. He even wrote
Right.
he I had no idea that he wrote for like the Atlantic City newspaper, and I happened to be in there, and he wrote about me and my family. So I'm very, very grateful for him, because
Blessings.
right,
Right.
AC has been really, because of him, and the connect that we have with him. I have been able to
Right.
meet so many people, and been able to, hey Don, been able to do so many different events that I would have never been able to touch had I not met you, had I not met him. But more importantly, I think I want to discuss how shy I was. Even though I did that
Right.
event, I was shy. I was very shy. And then
Yeah.
after,
I chime in on that.
but
Yeah. No. I just want to make sure the people that's listening, and when they look back on this, how far you came. I mean, we pushed Nettie to do a platform
Mhm.
years before that, before this platform. Like she know it. You can attest. You can ask Nikki. You can ask a dear friend who's no longer here, Christina. But we pushed, like,
Mhm.
and to see you really doing it and being consistent for this long with it is just amazing. But it's a testament of your work ethic. And at the time, I think you were more hesitant, but I knew the power. Everybody knew the power
Mhm.
um, that you had, and the singing ability that you had, and the poetry ability that you had. So it was just amazing. And if anybody doesn't know her son, like what? Like it's not just her. It's all in the family. Um, so it was just amazing to see now. It's amazing to see now what you're doing. But
Mhm.
I knew right from the door, and I don't push. You know me. If I don't think you got it, or I don't think you serious,
You don't
then
mess
I'm
with us.
like, no, I don't invest. I won't put my
Right.
time. No, not being disrespectful, but
Yeah.
because at one point in my life, I was there as well, right? Like people were trying to pour into me, and I wasn't there yet. And sometimes you meet people in that season, they're not there yet, but you were ready. You had the talent. I just think, like you said, the season wasn't right yet. And when it got right for you, like, yo, I'm ready. You took it, took what they say, took that bull by the horns. Like, I really believe that you really did that and you're blossoming and you're doing amazing things with it. But like you said, it just being honest that at first you was very like hesitant, shy a little bit. But if you stick with something and you be consistent and you believe in what you have and no one can take it away from you, you're gonna do what it takes. And I believe that's what happened here. So I'm just excited for you.
Well, I thank you for that. You did more than just, coach. You were a you were a true mentor. And the reason why I can say that is because the countless times that I appeared, in a showcase or an event, and if you were able to come, you came. You wasn't just a mentor. Like, let me now I know that this man charges. Okay, I know he charges because he knows what he's worth, and he knows, you know what I mean, all of that. He's but I really believed uh that you did not make a mistake with me, and you were like, started at the point of you you and I getting it together, as far as like, coaching me. You definitely were just starting to get people under your wing, and I just happened to come right in there at the time of you starting, and
Right.
you were like, no, I'm going to invest in this girl, like she don't understand. Oh, Nikki's on. She said, yes, Nettie, you are killing it. Well, thank you, girl. Yeah, so let me tell you. You came over to my house several times to do video shoots. Even just some photography, just to make sure that I had the right look, right? We talked about look. You said,
Right.
don't you dare ever don't do a live, don't do an event without putting, getting yourself together and making sure you're
You
right,
know, you
because
know I
you're
was
right.
heavy with that.
When I tell you today, I'm like, listen, we
You
gotta put
know
together
me.
just a little bit, because I'm just getting off of work, and I gotta put my face on. So I
Mm.
don't play. You'll
Yep.
probably
You know, I'll be like, oh, I'm not getting. I tell you straight. I tell the men, I ain't getting on until you looking right. I tell the men that too. Like, oh yeah, I
don't
don't
you
do.
dare,
If
right?
you ain't looking fly, I'm not getting on the stage. Like, not happening. Like
Well,
we hold ourselves to a certain
to a
standard,
certain
a high
standard.
one.
Yes.
You know it. And I
And
and I
then,
think when we met,
yes.
right? Go ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead. I got what I have something to
No, I
say.
was just saying when we met, that's when that's when I was just really making sure that we were learning about high standard and
Mm-hmm.
how hard I pushed y'all, because I
Yeah.
already knew no one is going to push you like I do. So if I can push you the hardest and make you almost be like, you know what? I don't want to deal with you anymore. I just want to push you just enough to make you understand, like, this is what it's like when you're trying to be the best version of you.
Yeah.
Someone has to push you to that limit.
It's true.
And we
You
definitely
did.
was really training hard. Like, anybody that see that talent today, they have no idea how hard we really worked to get to that. Like, a lot of people don't understand, but we worked hard for that. And I just want people to understand how hard Nettie worked to really, really get the best version of her in the infancy days. Like, not know what you see now. We talking about like back then when we was really, really, really pushing. So
I hate when Facebook brings back 3 years ago the highlight. of what I did with Nikki maybe 3 years ago. I'm like, oh my God, I looked so shy. I was so nervous. I have come a long way. I do have my confidence. I thank God for my confidence. Um, and particularly, like my performance. That's where I have to say that you just did not let up. Like, no, run it again. No, run it again. And then you helped me to a standard that
run
I
it back.
had to know my pieces. I had to know my pieces. You not reading them. Ain't nobody gonna pay somebody to read,
No,
although I'm
no.
seeing people are still getting paid while they're reading their stuff, but
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
however,
yeah,
not
yeah.
when I was coming up with
At the
you.
time, yeah, we wasn't at the time. I knew like now I get paid. Like sometimes they be like, yo, can you read? You don't gotta. Okay, they don't want a performing format, so they
Mhm.
want a reading format. Okay, but back then we always like, don't read around Brian. Like he's not gonna have it.
Oh no, and
Ambition is
then the
not gonna
look,
let you read.
the
Mm-mm,
look and the stare. Oh no. And then you said you go to open mics
mm-mm.
for your practice, right? You used to say that to me. You go for your open mics for your practices. So that way you start developing,
Yep.
a rapport with people, learn how to read the room was so important. Because I've had, a dark poetry piece that you're like, I don't know, you gotta read the room. You were
It might be a
very
little risky.
yeah, you always use that word risky. You're like, it might be a little risky. You just gotta know. And then when I started to understand what the flow was, I was well received. Especially in rooms that I didn't even think, I would be well
Right,
received. And of course, I've learned, poetry isn't for everywhere. You know what I mean? You can't really
right,
couple it up with everything. And so I had to learn, and um, I learned a lot about the business side of it with you and with Nikki. And I learned a lot about performances and just doing it. Like Nikki was real good at just saying, just do it. Just it's time to do it. It's just no, we're gonna do a live today, and it'd be spare of the moment. It'd be, sometimes we plan for
right,
it. She's like, nope, let's go on there right now. I'm like, okay. And so, we did enough of that. And what happens when you practice and you keep practicing and you keep practicing, it becomes a part of you. And then before you even
right,
realize, I'm like, I can do this. Yeah, you know what I mean? I can do this. And
right.
so it was just
Like
pressed
I'll
on
do
my
this.
heart.
Now you do it.
Now I just do it.
Right,
Now I'm trying to find reasons to, hey, we could do, and this is a whole month celebration. Like, I just, I could have just stuck with my one episode, a month, and that's it. But I'm like, no, this is time to do bigger. And I'm doing conferences online, and
right,
getting people from all over the world, like New Zealand and the Netherlands and South Africa, and people from London,
right,
you know
right,
what I mean, to join in on the lives and be a part of the panelists. And it's like every
right,
year I'm so amazed how God just opens up more opportunities and more, and people that are doing the work just like I am, on different platforms all over the world. Somebody told me this was going to be global. It wasn't going to be on a national level. It was going to
right.
be global. So I have to trust God that I'm doing what I'm
I
supposed to
got
be
it.
doing, and you know what? He'll do the rest. I just got to be a willing participant. You know, I just got to be the willing
Correct.
vessel. You know,
All you gotta do is start. All you gotta do is start. Right.
that's it. It's just start. But more importantly,
Mhm.
this is not about performing. This is my life on
Right.
display so that someone has my story to help them cope. That's it. To help, for this platform, for somebody to hear somebody's story that'll help them cope, help them get out of the
My
hole
God.
that they're in. That's the really the bottom line. Nothing else matters to me. Not how much I could make from this, not how much I'll grow from this. None of that matters. What matters is, am I helping someone? And it doesn't have to be on a
Right.
platform of, oh, how many people saw the episode today, because that will drive a content creator crazy. No, it's
Right.
long for me is, I'm okay if one person shares. I just need to get the information out, because there was a point in time in my life I did not have the support. I was a child stuck in a senseless world, okay? That criminalized
My
me,
God.
that create, that did, it was a crime scene what they did to me, and
Right.
so I didn't have the support that I needed, and I just hope I'm supporting someone just with my testimony, just with our testimony, And so thank you so
Correct.
much for being a
And that's what these
huge
platforms is
part.
about. These platforms give that. Mhm.
Yes. And this is a huge testament to you and to Nikki. Um,
Mhm.
just for what you guys did. You poured into me selflessly, and now I'm
Mhm.
able to pour into others selflessly, and it just the cycle keeps going on, and hopefully we reach the whole world with such positivity. There's so much junk in the
Oh, we
world
will.
now that I- can we even live in this society these days? Can you even raise children in this society
Facts.
this day? Like, are we for real? But this
That's true.
this is my
That's so
fight.
true.
This is my fight. So I just want to thank you. I want to give you your flowers, and just thank you so much for
Mhm.
just taking me and putting me under your wing, and look what happened. I was somebody who was broken. I was somebody who was scared. I was somebody who was just probably still dealing with healing and all of that. And then
Mhm.
look, I'm here. I'm here. I mean, I'm who I
Right.
am today, because I feel connected to you guys. I will always be connected to you guys.
Mhm.
And we it just didn't stop with the coaching. He got so big that he had a whole play. He wrote a whole poetry play, and then thought
Yeah.
of me, and Nikki, and quite a few
And
others,
that
and
was
just
crazy. We did that.
the support that you got,
Wow.
the business support
Right.
that you got. I was just like, wow, I see the bigger picture. And
Yeah.
so you did that here in little old New Jersey.
Yep.
I'm so
We did
proud
it
of
right
you.
in our right in the backyard. What, Williamstown?
Exactly. I like
Yep.
you did
That
that.
was and that was in the that was in the middle of the pandemic. You know what I mean? So now,
Right.
like you said, we're about to do another one, and it's gonna be
Surprise.
massive. I know.
Surprise.
You know
I
what I mean?
didn't tell
So
nobody yet.
gonna be massive again. We bringing it back. So what these are the things that we have to, like you said, our history is intertwined. Like you said, we'll
Yeah.
always be
Yeah.
known to be connected together because, like you said, that is what I have built from. That
Mhm.
right there, like the
Community.
plays, when we
Hmm.
did the photos, we did the video shoot, the walking down the street. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where I was made at.
Dope. The whole
So when I look
commercial.
back as a poet, I'm like, they're like, huh?
I said the whole commercial we did. It
Oh,
was
whole
it was dope.
commercial. Oh my
Right.
goodness, it was dope.
Yeah.
So like you said, it's just one of those things where I look back and I'm glad that we did all those things. It was so necessary for where we are now.
Yeah.
And when somebody asks me, how did you get here? I'm like, you would have to been there. Like that's how good it was.
Right.
That's how
And
amazing it was.
and this is what
Um,
I'm talking about. Like, you had your immediate circle for that play. You knew who to fly
right.
in. Like, you was on that type of level. Like, I don't understand. I don't think people understand. Yeah, how much it takes to have. And the person that you flew out was Cha Cha,
Yeah.
right? And she was so
Yep.
amazing. I mean, I follow her to this day. She's a whole celebrity out there
Cause
in
yeah,
Atlanta. She's no
she's that
joke.
good. She was
She's
that good.
so good,
Yeah.
so good. I'm like, what?
Mhm.
And so to just know,
Yeah.
just some of the people that you were so good at connecting people,
I
and that's
I
how.
believed in that. I took that. That play. That play was pandemic money.
Yeah.
When we got our little 1600, I put that whole bread into that. A
Mm,
lot of people don't know that I put that money right into that play to pay everybody, to put
mm-hmm.
it into the play, fly people out to pay
You
everybody.
did.
He wasn't nothing
You
back
did
then, but
that.
we did it, and I was like, yo, this is it. Like I'm going to put that money, and this is what I'm saying. When you believe in yourself,
Hmm.
when you believe in something, you don't take your money and you spend it on something frivolous. No, you
Hmm.
put it into the people and you say, look, it ain't but that much, but this is what we're doing.
Hmm.
And it takes a lot to do it. Now I know it takes a lot to do it. That's why I haven't done one since, because I'm like, the next one is going to take just as much,
Hmm.
but more people, more better quality, like you said,
Mm.
more people at the door, all of that. That was so much that like I was like, yo, I don't even want to do it again. That's how it was, so stressed, but it was so fun. And we did it perfectly, one take. That was the first time like it was perfection. Like, so it
But
was
when
it was
you
amazing. I can't wait for we to do it again. Like I can't wait until we do it again. But yeah,
when
I'm
you have
grateful that
that
I was a part of
discernment
that, and
though,
that part of that type of.
when you have that
Mm,
discernment and that relationship with God, He gonna give you the right people to be able to do the right
mm,
thing at the right time. You know what I mean? It's for His glory, really for His glory. So I can tell you that God is very pleased with you, and He was pleased with that play.
thank
That play was very emotional, but it was also very motivational. Like you left out of there wanting to go to church. you know,
you. Yeah,
it was
it was
amazing.
it was like, wow, he's preaching, singing, and then you
Yeah.
did the y'all. Nettie closed it with the song.
Mhm.
It was so good. So I'm excited for what we got coming up. But
But
yeah, that
I
was
will tell
amazing.
you this,
That was
that even though that the play was a success and you had an outline, what I particularly loved about the play is that you said, do you have you gave us our platform by allowing us to do our own original pieces to make it fit the narrative of the play. And I don't, like, do you have something for this? Do you have something for that? And I need you to sing. And I was able to come up with once I saw the big picture, I was able to, pick the song. I was able to, pick the pieces that I needed for your, and everybody had did the same thing. And it was amazing. That's why it worked. But you knew who to pick. And so I think that, like I said,
it was
the discernment,
perfect chemistry.
it really was.
Right.
And you have a knack for that, which leads me to Nikki D the poet. After you was kind of like, okay, not that I outgrew you, but you were like, I think you're in safe hands with Nikki. And so that was like the best decision, or the even, because you started to get really big and you started to have clients and things like that. It was hard to get, a booking in with you. So when
Yeah,
you
yeah,
when
yeah.
you
And,
yeah.
and plus, like you said, I always say, like you said, you get coached for a while, and then that person could only you can't be coached by the same person for 20 years. Like, no, 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 no.
True.
It's a season. And like
Mhm.
you said, when you get coached or when you're under mentorship,
Mhm.
it's for a season, and they're supposed to take you to as far as they can, and then they say, you know what, this is I can take you as far as I can. It's
Mhm.
time for you to get to that next level, and I don't know. I think this person can take you, and then
Mhm.
like you said, you go on to Nikki D, and then the next person to take you. I mean, you were singing with the amazing singer in AC. What's her name? Angela, right?
Angela Burton. Yep.
Is it Angela?
Angela Burton.
Right. So
Uh-huh.
like now, like you said, yeah.
Mhm.
So I can't take you to her. You got to get in this. I'm sure she took you
Yeah.
to new heights and see all the different things you did. So
And she
there's
has.
different levels
Mhm.
and seasons for mentorship that take you to that next role, and that's where I stop. And then that next person take you, and then that's when they stop. And then the next person take
Mhm.
you, and then when you're ready to do a big, massive
Mhm.
coming together show, you bring all of that together. Oh,
Yeah.
can't nobody stop that.
Yep. Yep. So, yeah. So there's that. That's enough to talk about for the rest of my life, because the experience of being in a play. Now, I'm theatrical all day. You know what I mean? I have that under my
Mm,
belt. I mean, for many years. I've even wrote my own skit, and that just goes to show you that
right.
we trauma victims. All right, let's go back to that. Trauma victims tend, when they're whole and they're healed, they use these coping mechanisms of writing, and then poetry spills out, and then the creativity has always been there, because it unlocks so many different things in us that we don't even realize that is there. And so once we get whole, we start to see all the things that we are so creativity starts to blossom, and that's what healing looks like.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're
That's
tapping
right.
into so many things to try to get well and try to get whole, and then you, by the time you realize it, oh my God, I've accomplished so much, I've said so much, I've done so much.
Right.
You just become this, you morphed into this beautiful, what you were, a caterpillar, now this beautiful butterfly,
That
due
butterfly.
to
Right. That's good.
due to past trauma. And so we should embrace whatever our past was, realize that it happened, but at the same time, you're better for it. You know more now. You're that much more intelligent. Your intelligence have been heightened because you have
Right.
experience and things you didn't even think would be relevant to helping somebody else. And the key is, like,
Right.
sometimes we go through things for not only for ourselves but to help someone else too.
Correct.
Hmm.
That pain is creating, like you said, you get so traumatized. And the
Hmm.
thing about a human, and it's so crazy, like even when you and I love this because I'm learning more and more about fasting, and
Hmm.
even when you tell the body you're not feeding it anymore, you're not giving it anything, and you kind of like, yo, my stomach is killing me, like, yo, I'm so hungry. And the whole time while you're saying you're so hungry and you're fasting, you are purifying your body.
Hmm.
And it's so amazing how we as humans, every time we suffer pain in some type of way, some type of trauma in some type of way, greatness and beauty and creativity sparks from the exact pain that we are going through. And it's so amazing because it's connected. Did I lose you? It's so amazing because it's so connected um, to our pain that we grow and we shine from it. And it's just so amazing. Like, and when you were saying it, I was thinking to ourselves, yeah, all the trauma we go through, all the drama we go through, and then we create something so beautiful from it.
Hmm.
Our relationship's been through ups and downs,
Hmm.
ups and downs.
Hmm.
But the one thing about relationships, when it goes through those roller coasters, and when you can get through them, the bond is locked in. It's almost like you can't even break it at that point
Right.
because the pain and the struggle and the coming back together and pulled apart and then coming back together, that's what makes it stronger.
Hmm.
And so when I have someone that I built uh, my life with, we went through the struggle with the issues, the drama, and you still are there. That's what makes the relationship so much stronger, so much more, because you can say, I've been through a lot with this person and we
Hmm.
still rocking.
Hmm.
And everybody can't do that.
No, nobody
um
can.
Beauty that comes out of the dirt and the
Hmm.
gravel is just so amazing. It's
Sure.
so many metaphors that's intertwined with that right there, right? So
For sure. For sure.
mm,
um I think it also takes a level of maturity.
mhm,
You know what I mean? To be able to stick it out with someone when at the end of the day, when a person loves you, and a person wants the best for you,
mhm.
if your level of maturity will understand that. And so, you know it really is that simple. you
Right.
know you know what I mean? And your
That's
relationship should be based on, they should be mature. You should be at a maturity level that you understand that
that's true.
not everybody's out there to to hurt you, but a
Especially
lot
if
of people don't get that.
the history of the person. Without them, that then that's I tell there's just certain people I can't, even if I'm not talking to them. Some people are just a part of who you are. It's nothing you can say. You
Yeah.
can deny. You can try to be like, I don't want, but there's just certain people that are a part of who you are as an artist or as a
Yeah.
person. And so
Hmm.
I'm just happy to be a part of this celebration with you, to be around the other faces I saw on there, that we all somehow built a small piece of Nettie. and that is amazing to us, and I'm happy to be a part of the Nettie alumni that helped Nettie somewhere along the way, and we all share a
You
piece
did.
of who you are, and by pouring into you, and you kept some of those pieces of us as we
Hmm.
kept some of those pieces of you as well. So yeah,
Well, thank
definitely.
you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Um, I'm waiting for you to download my script part
Oh,
of the play. I'm excited for that. Also, I think the only other thing it was there any. Oh, congratulations is in order. You got engaged.
that's correct.
I'm so
Yeah,
proud of you.
thank you, thank you,
I'm
thank
happy for you, and
thank you,
congratulations is in
thank
order.
you. Yeah, thank you. So,
Ah,
um, wow, like that. Well, I tell you,
mhm.
never give up on love. Like, don't ever do it, cause you know,
Yeah.
Nettie, Nickies, the people, they know what I used to, who I used to be, who I was, and when I first came on the poetry, and just a mess. I was a mess, but um,
We
you
still
know,
have ya.
never give up on yourself, and
That's right.
never get too down about who you used to be,
Mm.
because you just never know. Um,
Well, it's
so
never too late to change either.
no, absolutely not. And I'm getting older, you know what I mean? So who I was 5 years, 7 years ago
Hmm.
is a total different mindset, and and you know you have to change. You have
Yeah.
to change. You have to get better. And so, for me, getting better, I want to give this to artists. Getting better as a poet, but not getting better as a man doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You can't keep saying you want to be better as this,
Mm.
then in your actual life is you ain't. There's no progression. But then be saying it, and then be doing the poems, and then doing that, but then not really working on who you are. And so there was a lot of time that I need, especially last year,
Hmm.
time I needed to work just on myself,
Mm.
and who I was, and not and getting back to some of the traumas and the things that I had to face.
Mm.
And so when you do that, then you'll be ready.
Hmm.
Let's see. You know what I mean? But it's the person in the mirror. It's nobody but yourself, right? It's nothing. It's always yourself. Looking in the mirror, trying to beat that person to be better. So, but yeah, thank you so much for that. And
Yep. Not a problem. And I do want to let everybody know that he is an author of many books. Where can they find your information and to purchase
um,
your books? And
yeah, you can always go on Amazon, put in Ambition the Poet, Ambition Harper. I'm on there. And then Ambition the Poet on Facebook, Ambition the Poet, Ambition Harper on Instagram. I'm there. If you search
hmm
for me out there, you will find me. You hear me? You search for me out there, you will find me.
right.
But I'm out there. I'm
He's
not hard to find.
Googleable. He's Googleable.
I'm
I always
Google.
say I'm
Yo, it's
Googleable.
a lot of. I'm definitely on Google at this point. Like, shout out to
Yes.
Google. Like if you put an Ambition the Poet, I will pop up. Like, I'm not hard to find.
No, you're not. No, you're
Yeah.
not.
So
But
I'm
thank
glad.
you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
for
for
the time.
having me anytime, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye bye.
You can go ahead and get off. I'm gonna I'm gonna stay on. So there you have it. That is my coach, my friend, um, my mentor for poetry. So that's Ambition the Poet. Now I see Nikki on here. Nikki, you want to come on? I'll give you the link to come on. Are you still watching? Let me know. Let me see if I can give her 1 second, y'all. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna see if she's gonna jump on because I wanted to celebrate her on the 11th. Um, but she had a death in the family, and I just want to respect her. Um, all right, she said no. She's just supporting us. All right, well, I'm gonna do a little blog on her then, so you can understand how important she is to me. I love her. She my sis. She my best friend. I appreciate her. So we'll talk more about her on another day. I love you guys. Bye.